Hi, this is Shell of Shell's Creations. Today I want to show you one of the things that I do to speed up my scrapping and designing. It's called customizing your workspace. When you open up Photoshop, the tools, menus, palettes, windows, all of these things are arranged in a fashion that they assume is going to be standard for what might be easiest for you. But you'll notice if you go up here under Window and under Workspace, there's a bunch of different choices. If typography is what you're doing, then this is the workspace that they think will be most efficient for you, or at least it's one that's arranged for that purpose. Reset typography, painting, motion, essentials is the default one, and that's the one that I have this one set up as. And it's not that it's necessarily bad, it just isn't the fastest thing for the ways that I have become used to working. And so I'm going to show you how I set mine up and what I do, and then you can create something, and how I save it, and then you can create something that works for you. Okay, one of the things that you need to understand as you're putting together your own workspace is how these parts work. When there are two things together here in the same section, that means that when you click on this one, you'll see different tabs. One is for character, one is for paragraph. But you won't see tabs for this because they're in a separate section. And so as you set things up in a section, you're going to want to keep things together that you need. All right, let me show you how I set mine up. With any of these panel options, you can pull them out and set them up independently. There will also be the X that you can close them out and not include them. If you need to bring them back, they're all here underneath Window. Some of them have function keys associated with them, but you can always bring them back that way. I want to start with a fresh slate, and so one by one I've pulled these off and closed them out. Okay, now I'm ready to design my own workspace. I would like to have in there, one of the thing that I find the most useful, or the thing that I use the most, is my swatches palette. And so I put my swatches palette at the very top. I generally only have one color scheme showing at a time, which takes up one row. And so this one shows a little bit more than that. You cannot close it down any lower than this, but that's okay because I put my layers palette over top of it. The layers palette is the second thing that I need most often. And so I'm going to set that one up, make it a little bit wider. And I want it to appear over top of my swatches. Not quite that wide. Let's put the two of them together, and I want to see a lot of layers at once. And so I do make it a lot taller. The other things that I need, I am okay with opening the window and then closing it again. Other windows that I like, I want actions. I need paths. I need my brushes. I need character. That's how you change things in your type. I need styles. Okay, these are the ones that I use most often, but I want to set them up in a particular order. I need styles, I need my brushes, and I want the character all together. And I actually want them in the same one, and so I'm just going to go ahead and move it up so that when I open them, I have styles, character, and brush as part of my different tabs. And I dock them over here on the edge. There's the go-to thing that I need is my layers and my swatches, so I want my mouse to get to those first, and then these other options if I need them. The other things that I want are my paths and my actions, and I put them in separate menu bars as they open up rather than being in tabs. And they also can shrink down to be just as wide as this set over here. But I don't want them to dock together. Part of the reason is because when I open up my brushes, or my actions and my paths, I don't want them completely. Let me set them right here so that you can see. I don't want them to completely cover my layers. I want to be able to click on this layer and then go back to my actions, and then click on this layer and then go back to my actions. And so I want them to appear down here. Sometimes I will fill this space in between with other paths or other tools, but I found that that's not necessary. I can just leave my actions and my paths down here. So that if I want to open actions, there they are. I can pop to whichever actions I'm looking for really quickly and easily. And I usually leave that open down below. That way I can go to Layers Palette and back to actions. Back to the layers palette, back to actions. Same thing with paths. I also want it to extend down below my layers palette so that I can go with a layer, back to palette, switch to this different layer, back to my path, back to my layers, and back to my path. This is the arrangement that I find most useful when I'm designing. Then that leaves me the rest of the space, which easily fits a 12 by 12 in it so that I can zoom in and get up close. Now that I have the arrangement that I want, I can go ahead and save it. Up here under Window, under Workspace, right here where it says New Workspace, you can save it to be the workspace that you want. Designing 1. Scrapping 3, whatever it is that you use that most for, and you can have several of them. You might have one that you like for extracting, or one that you like when you are changing colors of something. Go ahead and create whatever workspaces you want. Now after you've saved it, then up here under Workspace you'll see that it shows up as one of your the workspaces that you use most often. You can move things around, and if you find that you're moving things around a lot, you can go ahead and change the workspaces that way. Remember, workspaces can be changed up here in the window, or you can select a different workspace right up here in this tiny little menu bar. If you have any questions, you can reach me at shells.creations1@gmail.com. See you next time.